welcome back to Sentient Sock Puppets, where today, I'm not going to be doing a normal review. I said in my past review that I want to post a lot of Harvest Moon content to get excited for the next game in the series called Story of Seasons that's coming out soon. And instead of just reviewing one game out of the series, we're going to take a look at the creation of the series and its creator, Yasuhiro Wada. And with that, let's start looking at the series that has been around since 1996. Almost as old as I am. The first game in the series, called Farm Story, came out on August 9th, 1996. 2 days later, I would turn 1. Series creator Yasuhiro Wada got the idea for the game after he moved from rural Japan into Tokyo. He said that the countryside had values that the inner city didn't, and he wanted to make a game based on those values. He was inspired by some pretty big titles at the time, namely Legend of Zelda, SimCity, and a game called Derby Stallion. Farm Story was originally planned to be a cow racing game, mostly based off of Derby Stallion, a horse racing game. On a quick side note, Wada himself has said that his favorite animal in the Harvest Moon series is the horse. However, he thought that just raising cows wasn't rewarding enough to the player, so he decided to add farming to the game. He had this to say on the matter. Once you worked on land, you wanted to go back and see. We saw the first sprout appeared. It may sound simple right now, but I will never forget the moment I saw that on the screen. It was pretty amazing, and I knew we could do this. He turned to his team and said, "Let's continue making the game." Now you may be asking yourself, continue? During development, Harvest Moon hit a pretty big roadblock. The company he was with went under, and the president of the company literally went missing. Also, many of the teams that were working there disbanded, leaving Wada unfunded and unmanned. He was ready to call the entire project and to scrap it all. However, his programmer, Tomomi Yamatate, and his writer, Setsuko Miyakoshi, told him that he should finish the game. Listening to their advice, he talked to the publisher and he got an extended 6-month period to develop the game. Wada's team of 3 literally slept in a conference room, woke up, worked all day, slept. Rinse repeat for 6 months straight. At GDC in 2012, he had this to say about after he completed the game. "I never felt happier or more thankful in my life." The game was released in June of next year in North America. And in September of 2011, Rising Star Games said that they sold over 1 million copies of Harvest Moon in the PAL territories alone. After the first game, more followed, releasing on many consoles, such as Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance, Nintendo 64, GameCube, PlayStation 1 and 2, and the PlayStation Portable. Harvest Moon has also started an onslaught of spin-offs. Spin-offs include Harvest Moon My Little Shop, Harvest Moon Frantic Farming, Harvest Moon The Lost Valley. Already talked about that one. But the most notable ones are Innocent Life, A Futuristic Harvest Moon, the Rune Factory series, and Hometown Story. Innocent Life is a futuristic Harvest Moon, not much more than that. The Rune Factory series is something very special. It blends dungeon crawling with farming. Rune Factory creator Yoshifumi Hashimoto explained Rune Factory is just Harvest Moon where you wield a sword. And I also have already talked about Hometown Story. Fantastic game. So with all this success, where is the series creator now, Yasuhiro Wada? Well, in 2010, he left Marvelous Interactive and he passed on the Harvest Moon torch to Rune Factory creator Yoshifumi Hashimoto. From there, Wada went on to work at a company called Grasshopper Manufacture, but only stayed for about a year. He ultimately ended up starting his own company called Toy Box Incorporated, which was established on August 10th, 2011. And I've explored them a little bit, and so far they've made 3 games. The first one called Deadly Premonition, an open-world adventure game. The second one, Hometown Story, which I have already talked about. And most recently, a game called Tokyo Twilight Ghost Hunters, which released recently on March 10th in 2015. However, Hometown Story was kind of Wada's return to Harvest Moon, except he set out to kind of improve it a little bit. Instead of running a farm, you run a shop. One important factor he wanted to work on in this game was the relationship factor. He said that one of the biggest goals in Harvest Moon was to get married, and it, in some way, had become a goal of the game. Wait, it wasn't a goal of the game? It was almost like getting married in the game was a goal of the game, but I wanted that focus to go back to where it started, the human relationship. It's not just marriage, it's about man and man, father and son, etc. I wanted to have so many varieties of human relationship in Hometown Story instead of just getting married. Although you can get married, it is just one part of the game. Having played the game myself, I definitely see this theme implemented. Marriage sort of gets set on the back burner, with very few bachelorettes and some very weird prerequisites in order to get married. Instead, the focus is on relationships with many characters. I recently reviewed this game, and I said that I liked the constant small events with everyone that branched out and made you connect to every single character in the game. Since Wada's departure in 2010, they've made 2 games in the series. The first one called Harvest Moon: A New Beginning, and the second one, Story of Seasons. Story of Seasons is coming out in America on March 31st, and I couldn't be more excited. I plan to check out the other games made by Toy Box Inc. I'm kind of interested to see what Wada will do without Marvelous Interactive and the Harvest Moon license, which he's been working on for nearly 15 years. Thank you so much for watching my video. If you want to stay up to date on the Sentient Sock Puppets, now instead of just following us on YouTube, you can also follow us on Facebook and Twitter, where we post updates on our next reviews. If you want to watch my previous reviews of Rune Factory 4, Harvest Moon Lost Valley, or Hometown Story, you can find them all on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitter. Stay tuned for my review of Story of Seasons. I plan to review it as soon as I've gotten my hands on it, and I've played it for roughly a week. If you don't want to hear any more about video games right now, check the Sentient Sock Puppets page. You can see Matey review cartoons and David review movies. With that, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. I know this isn't a PSP.